I guess it would help if I turned the microphone on before I started talking. But anyway, I am Walt from StogieReview.com, and here for another Short Ashes cigar review. And the cigar I'm doing today is a cigar that's been making a splash on the internet as of late. And the splash comes as a result of the Cigar Aficionado's Top 25 list being released and this cigar not being on it. And the cigar is the CAO La Traviata. And you're probably wondering, well, why are you doing this cigar now? Does it have anything to do with the popularity on the internet? Well, not exactly. What ended up happening was, shortly after the trade show, or actually at IPCPR, I had 1 or 2, maybe 3 samples. I thought they were good, solid cigars, but the draw was just way too tight for my liking. And I really didn't think much of the line because of how tight they were. So it turns out that after the show, I come home, I find out that my local tobacconist got to try a sample, really liked the cigar, and ordered some boxes to bring into the shop. And months and months and months go by, and everyone on the internet is raving about these cigars. They've had them, they're fantastic. And I'm sort of probing around, asking how the draw is, because that was the only setback on this sample that I had, was just a really stiff draw. And it turns out that a lot of the samples people are smoking were nice and free, and they were providing a fantastic draw, lots of smoke and whatnot. So I was really interested in trying them. But because my local is a smaller account, he was just sitting on the back order log for months on end. Well, finally, just last week, the boxes show up, and it was sort of like that commercial that plays around Christmas time with the M&Ms and Santa, where Santa looks at the M&Ms and goes, "They do exist," and he falls over fainting. It was sort of the same thing when I walked into the cigar shop. It was unbelievable that they do exist. They are out there. So I picked up 2 because I was afraid the draw was going to be stiff. So I only bought 2. Ended up smoking one the following day, and I hate to ruin the review for you because you're going to know where this is going. But the following day I went back and I bought 8 more, and then today, being Friday, 1 week later, I ended up buying the last of the box. It was like 6 singles left. So I obviously like the cigar. So let's dive right in and smoke it, and I'll give you my thoughts. But this is actually my second one today. I've had a bit of a rough day. It's kind of stressful. I'm having car issues, and it's just been one of those days where I feel completely unproductive. I had things planned, and a couple of setbacks caused the whole house of cards to come collapsing. So I'm really nowhere where I wanted to be today. Actually, I wanted to do a full-blown review, but the way things are going, I'm just in no mood to type up a big long review. So I'm gonna talk to you while I smoke this cigar. So, as I said, this is the La Traviata by CAO Cigars. The size I've been buying is the Divino size, which is a Robusto. My local shop has 2 other sizes. I'm not quite sure how many other additional sizes there are, but I've been only buying the Robusto because I smoked one and I thought it was great, so I didn't want to try mixing it up. I just kept buying the same size. Overall appearance of this cigar is excellent. The band is very tasteful. It looks great on the cigar. The wrapper color is consistent. It's a little on the dark side, nice and oily. The veins are small. They don't add a lot of lumpiness as you handle the stick. So it looks good from a construction sense and a presentation sense. It feels nice and firm, and the draw's got just enough resistance to make me happy. So I'm ready to get this thing lit up and get this review underway. I will be pairing this up with a cup of coffee. It's Rockstone coffee, which is it is a side venture of Jameson Cigar Company. Brad was kind enough to send me, Brian, and Jerry some pre-production samples. I don't know that it's really pre-production samples, but before he rolls out the coffee, he sent Brian, Jerry, and I some just to get our opinions on it. And I think it's been great so far. This is Sumatra Blue Batak. And I'm not one for Sumatran coffee. I like it, but it's far down on my list of favorites. And this stuff is really flavorful and really good. So So I'm smoking a CAO La Traviata with some Rockstone coffee at 5:30 p.m. So sit tight. I'll be back. We'll take a look at the first third of my CAO La Traviata, and we'll see how it goes. All right. Well, I'm back. I'm about halfway through my CAO La Traviata, and I'll show you the band again for no apparent reason, and and then I'll flip it around and show you the burn line. As you can see, it's well managed. I mean, there's a slight wave to it. Really no issue at all. The ash holds pretty firm. It's got a nice compacted shape to it. The color of the ash is sort of mixed. There's light and dark spots throughout. The smoke volume is excellent. I'm getting a lot of nice, dense, thick smoke. Easy to get through the sinuses. The draw has a little bit of resistance to it, but it's not enough that you feel like you need to work to get anything through the cigar. In the body department, I think this is a solid medium-bodied cigar at this point. In terms of finish, it's kind of neutral. If anything, it's just a touch on the dry side. You know, you get just the slightest bit of a drying sensation across the palate. Through the sinuses, it's kind of interesting and unique in a way. It's got almost a creamy spiciness, if there is such a thing. I'm getting a nice clean, crisp spiciness, but at the same time it has sort of almost like a thick texture to it coming out of the nose. So it's kind of interesting, and I'm not quite sure how to describe that you know, in a very good way, other than saying it's sort of a creamy kind of spiciness. In terms of flavors, you know, I've been smoking these cigars quite a bit. I don't review these videos as I go. I wait until I edit at the end. So I don't know whether I told you or not, but ever since I bought these cigars, I've been smoking one a day. And today I've smoked 2 of them. So I've become pretty comfortable on what I'm getting out of the cigar and what I can expect. And flavor-wise, there isn't a tremendous variety of flavor. You know, it's not one of those cigars that's going to hit you with a barrage of flavor and keep you on your toes. It's sort of a steady pressing flavor that matures into something a little richer as it goes, but there's no definitive changes. When I light up the cigar, I get a sort of a woody flavor and a nutty flavor, and that stays throughout the entire cigar. As it goes on, the flavors may come out a little bit, become a little richer, a little brighter, if you will. But for the most part, it doesn't really change. It's a nice, steady, slow... I'm not quite sure how I want to describe it. It's just sort of a steady flavor that just keeps on going in a slow progression and becomes richer as you go, or deeper as you go. And really, that's all I'm getting. Outside of this sort of a nutty and woody flavor, I'm getting just a natural tobacco flavor, and there isn't much aside from that. Again, there's really no deviation, and it's not the type of cigar that's going to keep you on your toes with constant flavor changes. It's consistent. It's consistent, although it's got unique qualities about it that keep me from becoming bored from the same consistent flavor throughout. So far, I'm happy with it. It's performing really well, and at the halfway point, it's something I would definitely recommend. So sit tight. I'll be back. We'll take a look at the cigar as I close it out, and we'll see how it goes if anything changes. So sit tight. All right. Well, I'm back, and it's about time to wrap up my CAO La Traviata. And as you can see, still a slight waviness to the burn, but really nothing to complain about. I've had it sitting in the ashtray for an extended period of time on more than one occasion, and it seems to be doing really well. It doesn't require a lot of maintenance. You can just pick it up and smoke it. And just like I would have expected, or just like I did expect, there really isn't a whole lot of change throughout this cigar. It's very consistent, and the only thing you will notice, or at least the only thing that I noticed throughout the cigar, is an increase in depth and complexity of the flavors. They really don't change from one distinct flavor to the next. While I do really like cigars that jump around a lot, I think it keeps me on my toes, keeps me focused on the cigar because things keep changing. Even though I do really enjoy that in the cigar, I can appreciate a cigar that's nice and consistent throughout, that has an interesting flavor. It hasn't gotten boring on me. It's smoking well. It's performing well, you know, burning and construction wise, and I really don't have any complaints about it. The body hasn't really changed. It's still medium. The finish is a little drier than it was, but it's still pretty close to being neutral, where I don't get a creamy sensation and I'm getting a very mild drying effect on the palate. I'm not getting any harshness in my throat through my sinuses. When I do pass the smoke through my sinuses, I'm still getting that interesting sort of creamy spiciness. And again, I'm not quite sure how to describe that best. It just feels like a very thick textured smoke that comes through the sinus, that has a little bit of a bite to it, like a spice would. And flavor-wise, I'm still getting a nutty flavor and a woody flavor with a primary component of just natural tobacco. It's a cigar that doesn't require any aging. You know, you can pick these up at the cigar shop like I did and light them right up without worrying about setting them down in the humidor for an extended period of time so that they round out. In this case, I'm smoking them as I'm buying them, and they've been great so far. So really, I think that's all I can say about the cigar. It's just that I really enjoy it, and you should definitely take a look at it if you're on the lookout for affordable cigars. I've been picking these up for $4.95 a piece at my local tobacconist. Again, being in Pennsylvania, I don't have any additional state taxes to worry about. Depending on where you live, you may see an increased price. However, the MSRP is about $5 on the Robusto size. And even the larger sizes, I don't think they get up over $6, maybe $6.25. But again, I've been buying a lot of the Robusto, so I'm not 100% positive on the pricing of the larger sizes. I mean, the boxes are sitting next to one another, but I'm focused on that box of Robustos, and that's the one I keep picking from. So with any luck, CAO will be able to catch up on their orders as far as the backlog of back orders go. Because the cigar is so popular, it seemed like they couldn't keep up, and I guess now that we're several months in, they're finally able to keep up with the demand and supply their retailer cigars and whatnot. So hopefully I'll be seeing more of these in my local shop now that I've killed the box of Robustos, and I look forward to smoking more in the future. So until next week, or next time, or whenever I do the next video, happy smoking, and I will catch you later.